G'day mates, it's Mike here. Now, you're probably wondering why I've stopped doing Cyrax Sunday videos. Well, for the past couple of weeks I was really busy, hammering down on, the high quality shit. But I've also found that the Cyrax verse is just way too repetitive and I'm kind of getting bored of it. Don't worry, I think William and N-Word Boy are keeping him preoccupied. I mean, they don't really need me, but a little while back, I found out about a really interesting individual by the name of Connor Roundy, aka Hypnotist Sapphire. Now, if you don't know who he is, you should go check the Kiwi Farms thread. Today, I thought we'd start off with an easy video to react to. I actually don't 100% know the title of the video, but it's basically him saying that he doesn't care about being offended. That's gonna stop people from trolling him. Now, I will say this as well. This is some older shit, from like a couple of years ago. But I thought it would be funny to just have a watch, have a gander of it, and, just fucking clown on him because it's so fucking funny. I honestly think Sappho's more interesting than Cyrax, in my opinion. Definitely more dangerous. Don't get me wrong. Definitely more dangerous. Okay. Let's do this. Phantom Phoenix. Communist has joined your lobby.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Glowing Brightly channel, where I make the feds seethe and the man-children cry.
Yeah, sure you make the feds seethe and the man-children cry. A government with the second highest GDP in the world, with by far the most military spending, over 300, almost 400 million people under its domain. Yeah, I'm sure the government is totally seething at some fat, idiotic pedophile whose security advice is so good he got doxxed from a picture of his adopted cat. We can talk in another video about why the government hasn't bothered arresting you, Connor. Oh, and as for the man-children crying, the man-children did try to prove their lack of obesity by sucking in their gut and taking a picture of themselves using an above angle to hide their double chin. But as for me, the more I read the Kiwi Farms thread on you, the more my anger manifested itself into just pure, unbridled amusement at just how idiotic you are. Lol cows are meant to be milked after all. And boy, are you one big steer.
I have my own opinions.
Yeah, you have your own opinions, that's all well and good. But when your opinions are dangerous and impractical, society has a small little tendency to clap back. Freedom of speech doesn't necessarily mean freedom from the consequences of your actions. Unless someone decides to call in a welfare check. Then you can pretend that you were swatted.
That's right.
Why do you have a picture of Chris Hansen here? Are you trying to needlessly taunt your detractors? Way to make people want to clap back at you harder. You're such a fucking idiot, honestly. You're such a fucking moron.
And I wanted to make a video to clarify that I don't care about you getting offended.
You making this video only proves that you do care that people are angry at you. If you didn't care, you wouldn't even be acknowledging them, let alone arguing with some randos on Kiwi Farms about whether or not you're fat. But spoiler alert, you are. Even if we assume you don't care, making this video won't achieve your intended goal, shutting people up. All it will do is further antagonize people, you fucking idiot. Also, this tweet makes me cringe. The farmers were trying to tell you over and over again that you are indeed a pedophile, and the evidence was overwhelming. But talking to you, it's like talking to a brick wall. I mean, the only reason they called you fat is so they would garner a response out of you.
This is a salmon that actually jumps on the hook for you.
Honestly, you are the biggest idiot I've ever seen.
You don't know who I am. You don't know what my motivations are. You don't know the real me.
A few moments later.
I'm being upfront about who I am and what I am.
have
to
the
get
capacity
passwords
to
to
go through the sex.
adversaries.
Nothing wrong about sex.
Oh, and before you say, oh, they're just screenshots, they've been corroborated through archives that were made by multiple sources. Also, why do you have a picture of Predator from the Alien vs. Predator franchise? Trying to make yourself look like a pedo?
And I believe that privacy is a basic human right that everyone deserves to have.
This argument, in my opinion, is far too oversimplified. It's all well and good to advocate for privacy, but the practicality of implementing such measures based on this principle would not only be borderline impossible, but possibly not even worth the squeeze. I'm all for preventative measures to avoid corporate data harvesting. Their malice and blatant lack of regard for privacy in favour of making a profit is disgusting and reprehensible. Furthermore, I do believe individuals deserve a degree of privacy to prevent harassment from governments, individuals, and third parties. But like with freedom, if we prioritise privacy over everything else, potential negative side effects arrive. We could accidentally give criminals a blind spot for them to continue their operations unabated. We could give pedophiles a platform to groom children and distribute CP. Not like you care, do you? My point is, I think we should take a balanced approach to this, which is why I also believe we have a collective responsibility to do what is right together and ensure minimal corruption. Saying that pedophiles and zoophiles are merely people you don't like is a severe under-exaggeration and underestimation of the danger these groups of people pose to society. You need not do more than ask the victims of these people yourself. Their lives are permanently affected because of the sick, twisted fantasies of people like you. There are people who have taken their own lives because of the abuse that these people put them under, and you just brush it under the rug, saying, oh, you just don't like them because they have different opinions. Disgusting.
Your feelings don't matter,
Projection.
and you can cry, whine, and seethe about my existence.
Projection.
You can call me evil, wish for my demise, pray for my takedown, that's fine.
Or we could use the revolutionary tactic of telling the truth.
Thoughts are not crimes.
Okay, it's all well and good to say thoughts are not crimes, but what is the point of this video? Again, what is the point? Why are you wasting your time making it if it isn't going to change anything? People are entitled to their own opinions about you. Furthermore, they're allowed to express said views. Not like this video would shut people up anyway. If anything, it would have only emboldened them more. You're such a fucking idiot, Connor. Also, thoughts aren't crimes, but possessing objectively dangerous and destructive thoughts inevitably conjures up the ire of the majority. How did you not understand this, you fucking idiot? Also, acting out on said thoughts is a crime. Honestly, how you weren't arrested for what you did baffles me. But then again, Cyrax hasn't been arrested either. So, I'll just have to do more research on the topic.
And we live in a somewhat civilized society where you can't remove people because you don't like them.
If you did a basic search through American history, you'd see the government has done just that. Unlike the Soviets or DPRK, however, they were more subtle with their tactics.
You know, I'm being upfront about who I am and what I am.
You just said at the beginning we don't know who you are or your motivations. Fucking hell!
And I'm gonna be honest and just go ahead and say that the best security advice comes from people like me and my communities.
Yes, the best cybersecurity advice comes from an overly paranoid pedophile who's gung-ho on hiding his stash of illicit material he sends to his army of minors. The guy who fucked up so badly, admins on other Mastodon servers prevented users from interacting on your Zetamu server in fear of their IPs being leaked. Yeah, sure, Connor. Sure.
So have a laugh.
Oh, but we are laughing. Just not with you, Connor. Roundy.
Don't take everything so seriously.
You just need to watch my videos on Randy Stare to see what not taking everything so seriously does. People are hypervigilant for a reason, Connor. They want to prevent people like you from scarring innocent kids for life. or worse.
When I make a tweet like this, you don't have to freak out and try to start a crusade where, you're all super angry and seething about it.
A tweet advocating for pedophilia. Also, I'd like to remind you, you said the legal age of consent should be 16.
I agree with half the United States and most of the rest of the planet that I personally think 16 should be, appropriate for age of consent.
This goes beyond your limits too. Well, supposedly anyway, not like you didn't try grooming a 9-year-old or anything. Even if this sketch is a joke, it's a pretty poor joke at best. And that's coming from me, so you know it's bad.
Because it's just a sketch with some numbers and some words.
Calm down, Mike, calm down, calm down. What are you on about? See this? Or this? It's just a symbol, Connor. It's not like it has bad connotations or a history of genocide and immense oppression or anything. Do you see how stupid that sounds?
There is nothing wrong about this sketch.
This sketch is trying to normalize relationships between underage kids and adults. How is that not wrong? Even if it isn't, somebody like you who is admitted to having lots of mental problems should not be interacting with kids. That is a recipe for disaster. Furthermore, I think most people wouldn't just see the sketch. They'd see your little message up top saying, "One can dream." Like, come on. How you don't get people would be pissed at you for that? How? It baffles me.
And if you want to follow someone who really doesn't give a fuck about offending people or what anybody else thinks, then
Follow me instead. At least I'm still on Twitter. But seriously, I'm not one for censoring people who don't like me. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, because criticism is key to building a better tomorrow.
we need more people in the world that are skeptical of the way that things are.
There's a difference between being merely skeptical and questioning of the ways of life, and those who prematurely act out on it out of preconceived biases.
We need more people that can escape the brainwashing they were given all their lives.
What brainwashing? Anti-pedophilia and anti-zoophilia is perhaps one of the most black and white issues out there. It's so easy to see why it's not okay to fuck animals and kids. Honestly, what is wrong with you?
And I've learned to love the haters.
Clearly you haven't learnt anything if you're making videos like this being butthurt at them. There's a reason your Kiwi Farms thread is the funniest thread on the site.
Because without them, more people wouldn't find my content.
Come on, Connor. You should know the golden rule of the internet by now, especially since you learnt the hard way. Don't piss off the farmers. Otherwise you'll get a photo of you in an Episcopal church leaked to the internet.
And ultimately, this video, the point of it is just to tell people that I don't care that I make you offended.
All you've done is the opposite.
So keep crying, keep seething, and I'll continue to be me.
I find it funny how he imitates the language used by the farmers. You'll see it in plenty of other videos too. It goes to show how much of a no-life he is that he copies the mannerisms of his biggest haters. Oh look, the cat that led to your doxing!
See ya.